Never has there been a more compelling time to commit to the process of finding your life's purpose. That work that provides your reason for being and generates a state of bliss and fulfillment. All over the world, a shift is taking place. On one hand, the world seems to be in a dire situation. Our ecology is more fragile than ever, and wars and hunger take the lives of many people each day. On the other hand, humanity as a whole is awakening to the understanding that our lives can and should be more than just a constant struggle for survival. Just imagine an on-purpose world where people are too preoccupied living according to their true purpose to bother waging wars, stealing from one another, or committing countless other abuses. It is possible to make a better world, and you are a vital part of this change. It is my firm and passionate belief that if people become serious about seeking and living their life's purpose, it will produce a ripple effect on this planet, the likes of which have never been seen. It could even play a huge part in ending poverty, war, and hunger. Now, here is the author of What's My Purpose? A Journey of Personal and Professional Growth, and the creator and producer of the new upcoming film, One World Living on Purpose, and the creator and host of the Circle of Success Show, Dr. Jim White.
Thank you, David, and good afternoon, everyone. We got a fantastic show for you today. We have a very special guest, and it's always great to have our guest and be able to call him a friend as well. His name's Wayne Clancy. Wayne's going to be with us for the full hour, and our show theme today is One World Living on Purpose. One World Living on Purpose. We started thinking about this about 7 years ago, and as I said in the introduction, just imagine if we could get the world living on purpose, everybody living on purpose, what we could do collectively. So today we're going to talk about purpose. We're going to talk about Wayne's work from a technology standpoint, what he's doing to pull all of the communication gaps together and help us to continue to align on purpose. So what I want you to do is sit back, get a notepad, relax, get in the moment, and take a look at this clip. Thank you. We're back. I thought by sharing that clip is to lead us off in the show today would just set the tone. Living a life on purpose is about creating a financial abundance. And there is no get-rich schemes here, ladies and gentlemen. But living a purpose and living that passion, that financial abundance, that spiritual abundance, relationship abundance, and how you align all those together and how it actually deals with your physical health and your mental health. So once again, the show today is about one purpose living, one world living on purpose. Excuse me if I can talk this afternoon. One world living on purpose. So, Mr. Wayne Clancy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jim. And just like to say how privileged I feel to be on your show. Do you remember that first conversation we had back a few years ago?
We've had so many wonderful conversations, and that about 5-6 years ago. So refresh my memory.
Well, I was struggling to put together a bunch of pieces.
Yeah.
Because I knew inherently that everything was connected. And we had this 2-hour conversation, and Jim didn't know me from Adam at the time, and put all that time into it. And I'm sure you've done that with many other people as well. And everything started to come together after that. And when you're thinking about the way that you've organized your thoughts and helping people understand how it's connected, and you start looking for those connections. That's where the magic starts.
Yeah. And now you refresh my memory. I remember that conversation that we had, and it's amazing how people come into your life, and it's meant to be, and
Absolutely.
it's just magical. And that's what we've enjoyed. And you said it so well in your email a few nights ago. We don't talk that often, but the connection is very strong because we're after the same common bold goal, and that's to help the universe. And I know what a lot of our listeners and our viewers and around the world say, man, they're talking about changing the world. Yeah, we are. And we believe we can do it, and we actually are doing it on a daily basis. So once again, it's a privilege. And Wayne had a long flight. Wayne is from Toronto, Canada, and so we're glad you're in the studio. So let's talk about the gaps. At first, a little of your bio, a little background, because you got a fantastic background. So share with our audience a little bit about your background and how you got into this technology, bringing spiritual and energy through technology to communicate and fill these gaps.
Okay. I thought probably the best way to do is give everyone a little bit of an idea on the journey that I've been through.
Okay.
And kind of where it all started back at the beginning. I went to school. I graduated with a marketing degree. And my first job was with a large multinational organization. It was about $800 million. This is back in early 80s. And which was a big organization at the time. And they had just gone through a period of deregulation. So everything was kind of new now. And marketing was a new concept. They were run by accountants and operators, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you need the whole component. And they brought me in and they said, you're a energetic young guy and you understand marketing. So I was reporting to the CEO of this large corporation at the age of 24 when I first got into it. And my marching orders were, go out and marketize the divisions. And it was, what does that mean? He said, well, you're the marketing guy, you go do it. And it was such an incredible opportunity. And I got out to one of the divisions, and that particular division had this incredible quality reputation in the marketplace. And they, but their market share was dropping, their margins were dropping, and I couldn't figure out why this was going on. So, of course, when you go into a room, sometimes you can see the things that no one else can see, and or because they're so far into the muck. It's not that they wouldn't, but they just necessarily haven't. So I asked the question in the meeting, well, how important is this stuff? Because every year they would do a satisfaction study, and every year they were better than everyone else. And they looked around the room. They hadn't asked the question. So that one hit me like a freight train because, wow, there's a correlation here that I don't think a lot of corporations are looking at. So I went away literally on the weekend and came up with a calculation. And we went back out to the marketplace and we asked them and we said to them, how important are each of these different elements to you and how well is the business performing in this area? And what came back was that we found that they were what I called over-allocated in areas. And that meant that the importance that the customers were putting on a lot of the items was lower than their performance. And it was a simple concept. And what we did was, and I sat down, I looked at it, how do we bring those two pieces together so we can look at it singularly? What is the gap between the expectation and the delivery? So we went back in, of course, the knee-jerk reaction is, well, we're going to stop doing those things. We'll stop spending money in there. And it occurred to me, well, just to be like everyone else. And well, geez, no, we don't want to be like everyone else. We are special. Well, let's go out and find out if this is important. So we went, in those days, Apple, it was one of the first comings of Apple, and they were huge, and we had a number of other huge clients. And we went out and talked to them and said, how important is this stuff to you? And they said, it's really important to us. And we said, would you put your name to it?
Stuff meaning what?
All the different touch points and the differentiators, the extra value things that they did. And so when we went out, so we went and said, would you put your name to it? Simply, we put a program together that said, what's it worth to you? We used these leading companies, educated the marketplace, brought up the importance, and recaptured market share. And literally, the business turned around in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Because the value was in the education, and that was the first gap that we really, where this all came together.
In the education of finding out what people want, is that, I mean...
It's helping them understand what it was doing for them.
Okay, what their product or service was doing for them.
What the certain components of the product and service were doing for them.
Okay.
Because there's two things we can work with. There's importance and then there's performance.
Right.
And if importance is low and performance is high, you're doing things that your customers don't understand the value of.
Okay.
But you can choose to take your performance down, or you can choose to move the importance up. And the only way to do that is through education.
So fast forwarding through the years, I know you started your existing company, what, 1985?
Yeah, that was the original consulting firm.
So moving forward, you've developed all of these different, what I think is just phenomenal, I'm going to, lack of a better word, software, computer programs to be able to measure, and especially is go back to our purpose, to what's our purpose, and when you're talking to people, you're measuring how they feel about stuff, right? Is that a simplistic way?
Yeah, they are perception models, but that's how we make our decisions.
Yeah.
If you believe something is good, you tend to make decisions and buy that way.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's how it came together. But it's all about the relationships and being able to understand, because a lot of relationships are very complex, and it doesn't matter if it's a business relationship. We've even put the tools together, interpersonal relationships, because it's all the same.
And that goes to how we can talk about, as the program progresses, how we can use some of your tools to be able to communicate to the world. If we all could communicate better, understand each other better, and live that life on purpose, is that some tools that you're going to have?
No, absolutely. And we'll get into the technology side, but it's that gap that's at the center of absolutely everything. It's when people don't understand, and there's a gap in thinking, and it doesn't matter who they are, that's where we have our challenges, and that's what causes a lot of the things that we'd like to get rid of.
I tell you, we got to get in a break, and what you're going to find in live television, this stuff just flies by.
It does.
It flies by. So we got to get in a quick break. You're watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19. We'll be right back after this message.
This segment is brought to you by 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit. 12 O'Clock High is one of the undisputed best movie classics of all time. It is also one of the best business learning tools available. The movie rated #1 by top executives for its influence on their management styles. Now, the inspiration of the 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit, an innovative one-day event and 30-day follow-up where you will quickly see what's working and not working on the front lines of your company and in your own leadership style. Learn more at 12high.com. That's 12high.com.
Okay, we're back with Wayne Clancy, and what we thought we would do today, I have some students that are in a current course, What's My Purpose Life Mastery course, and I've asked them to call in and share some of their experiences about living on purpose and this whole journey. And we got our first caller on the line now. Richard, are you there?
Yes, I am. Nice to talk to you, Jim.
Nice to talk to you, sir. How you doing today?
Oh, fantastic, and looking forward to our 5 o'clock talk.
Yeah, we have a class this evening. Richard, what I wanted you to do, and thank you for doing this, and this whole journey of purpose and communication and bringing cultures together, and you know one of my many passions is our veteran communities. And I know that you are a veteran from the Vietnam era, so as I am, and I want to thank you for your service. So, what's this course, this journey? What's it doing for you? How's it supporting you, and where you currently are, and just defining your purpose?
Well, I would say the summing it all up in one word is clarity, and I think that's so important on there because I've gotten so sidetracked with the post-traumatic stress from the war and all the other things, and of course, I appreciate your service and how you and I can relate, and we're so close to each other on so many things. So, anyways, it's clarity, and I like the way you've laid out the course as a journaling type of thing, with really asking. Presenting information and then giving the hard-hitting questions and really getting us to dig deep down within ourselves and getting that clarity, find out what's really going on, getting it out on paper. And I think that's very, very important. I've been journaling for many, many years, have a website on it to boot. And so that's the biggest thing. And the other thing I want to really mention, and thank you for your service, and you come across as just caring so much. And whoever is asking questions and the way you present the material on that, you are a very successful person. But the way you come across to everybody is just like, hey, you're a brother, you're just a long lost friend, and it's your caring that means so much to me and how much you helped me. And I really appreciate everything that you've done for everybody in the class and for the world with what you're doing.
Richard, thank you so much, and we will have opportunities in the future to bring you back on the show. But I just wanted you to come on the show with the message that everybody that's in our class, and we're on this journey of defining and the purpose and living the purpose. I want everybody, especially in our veteran community, to know that we do have, there are some alternatives other than medications, right? So we're on a journey together. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to share your message, and thank you for doing that. And I will talk to you in the class this evening.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jim.
My pleasure. Wow. I go in silence here for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes that's okay.
It is. It is.
Reason I want is have Richard. That goes to one of the conversations that you and I had, and this is connection. All the technology that you do, but it's a bigger thing in that. We're in our discussion. We're always, what can we do to be able to get our message across to hundreds of millions of people? Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that I know you've spent big part of your career and using tools to be able to leverage, is that to communicate and to do gaps. So tell us a little bit more about some of this gap analysis work and how that all fits in our theme of one world living on purpose.
Okay. As I explained, the gap analysis started out with a customer look, and that's a very traditional business look at things. And we got involved in some pretty interesting ways of measuring complex relationships and simplifying them and making it work. We went to some technology people and we said, can you automate this for us? This was back in the 90s because we had used it for due diligence and mergers and acquisitions and all sorts of different things. And we had a couple say they could. And then we found these two really, really bright people that came in, and John has been with me for an awfully long time, and he's the architect of this, and he was able to take some of this complex stuff and simplify it. So it became a data management company. And we were able to organize that information so companies could make simple decisions, and it was presented to them in a way that was simple, is the same as ISO is and other quality systems. So it became an outside-in quality system. Well, our customers liked this so much that they dragged us kicking and screaming into the employee side because that was a key component. Now, of course, initially we had the customers
to
over
the
here.
employee side to find out what the employees, how they were connecting, what they were thinking about the company, what they liked, and once again, bring it back to, are they in fact in the job that they should be in for is living that purpose?
All of those things. It's what we call employee engagement today, and that was a component of it, and that was done separately. And we had the employees and how engaged are they, and what's their purpose in terms of, and the organization's purpose,
Right.
and how aligned are those
Right.
in taking care of the customers.
Right.
And then the fun part was when we started to connect those two, because we actually had the employees give us feedback as if they were a customer. And the interesting thing was that we found so often that both components of the gap were out of whack, that the employees a lot of times just didn't understand what the customers were looking for. And it wasn't that they didn't want to do it. It wasn't that it was a bad organization. It's just that, customers are far more complicated than it used to be because there's so many different groups of them. And this brought them together, and our technology allowed us to put them side by side, and the company could very clearly see, wow, this is what our employees are thinking, and this is what our customers are thinking.
You said customers are complex,
They can be.
and they are. But as we step away, if we're on this journey of one world living on purpose where every living, breathing human being has a unique talent, and they understand after doing the work, this is the reason I'm on this earth. And we have got to, the consumer world, we got to provide the basics, right? You got to eat, you got the food, you got to have health, you have all of that. But if we can imagine one world where everybody is really living purpose, is there a possibility it become maybe not so complex? Or are we as human beings are we our own worst enemy sometimes?
Well, let me clarify there, because you're absolutely correct, and I agree. The relationships themselves aren't necessarily that complicated. It's really just understanding what is it that other people value differently than I do.
Absolutely.
And how do we bring those two components together? So that part's simple. The problem is that we make it complicated because we have so many different things that we look at. And we also have so many different people that have so many different views on things. So as a business or as an individual who has to interact with other people, that's one of the complexities of it is, you look out and there's so many different types of customers, sizes and everything else, and how do we organize this in a way where we can really treat people as we should? And when we really understand that well, the employees love it because they're able to find their things that excite them about delivering, because at the end of the day we find most employees want to do a good job.
They do, and this is the opportunity that I'm going to say corporate America and corporate world has, is to be able to develop that culture and establish this business model that fair practice and making an environment where you're so excited about showing up to work versus having to look over your shoulder is somebody going to stab a knife in my back. And it's understanding that there is a win for everybody in this deal. Now, these words are overused, right? So,
and you're absolutely right. What we found was that the traditional methods of win-lose and strategy are all based on war strategies. You know that. You and I have talked about this. And collaboration, everybody can contribute and enjoy it. And people say, yeah, Clancy, you're off in another planet. But you know what? I've seen examples.
Tell me
of
that
it.
all the time.
I've seen. We've got some customers. BASF is a good example. A lot of people don't even know who they are. If you look around the room, everything here has some of BASF material in it.
You know what I love about it? What do they say? They don't make anything. They just improve everything.
They do.
That's the deal.
But it's, there's a reason for that. They are so well run.
Yeah.
They've been using our tools for years now, I bet 10 years, and they're so in line. Their employees have a good time. You see them. They're enjoying it, their contribution, and there's more purpose to the business, even though they prefer to be in the background sometimes. So it works, and it can work in a big corporate environment.
We got to get another break in, and this break is a 1-minute clip, and I chose it, and I think it's a nice time to put it. It's called Strong, Being Strong. So let's take a look at this clip.
What is strong? Is it muscle or something more? Is it measured in miles or milliseconds? Is it your best time or your worst day? Maybe strong is just what you have left when you've used up all your weak.
We're back. Reason I wanted to show that clip to reinforce the show today. It's about finding, living, knowing that you can have the abundance, but that journey is sometimes challenging, and you've got to be strong. And as the clip says, maybe that's using up the weak. So as we're talking about all these different tools that Wayne has developed, and he's developing these tools for one reason, to help communicate and to help people understand each other better, and to help businesses to create value and equality for their consumers. End of the day, it's that simple. So we have another caller on the line, and Ed, are you there?
Yes, I am, Jim.
Good afternoon and welcome to the show. I tell you, I want to say to the world, and I was saying to Wayne, what a wonderful job you've been doing into the course. As you have been watching the show today, and your experience in this purpose journey, what can you share? I mean, is it worth taking?
Sure it is. I will say, as you've cautioned us many times, that this particular journey is not an easy one, but it's a very it's a useful one, and it pays off a lot of dividends and rewards if you're willing to put the hard work and effort into it. And taking my own personal experience, Jim, I've always been someone who felt that we're put on this planet, we have a purpose in life, and one of our goals is to make that purpose become real, and to take our purpose, which is an idea perhaps, and turn it into an action. And I've always had elements of what purpose, or what things I enjoyed doing. When I did them, I lost my sense of time. They were easy for me. And my challenge has always been to put them together to provide me with some direction for my life. And what I've personally experienced, now that we're through the midway point of this course, is that I now have a mechanism to help me ask the deep questions about what's important to me, so that I can start putting those pieces together. And that has been completely invaluable for me. So I thank you very much for this course and everything that you've put into making it happen.
You're quite welcome, sir. And I really appreciate you taking the time, because once again, we're launching a huge initiative of this One World Living on Purpose, and you certainly are no stranger to our guest today. And matter of fact, you're actually friends, and you actually work for Wayne, and the tools that you guys have, and when we start bringing it together, how you could use your technology into spreading the word of purpose. 30 seconds or less. And I know I'm just putting you in a tight time frame here. So how does the two come together? How can we use the technology to spread our purpose word?
Sure. So, looking at the tools that Wayne has created, as he said, they provide that gap between, what my expectation is and what my performance is in an area. And, being able to ask those kinds of questions, which you enable within the course, allow us to determine where am I today, where do I want to be in the future, and how can I best get there.
Yeah.
And, that's part of what Wayne and his tools have brought to the table, and I know that he's going to tell you about some other initiatives he's got where the tool is being used to help help people on an individual level, but also to help on a more macro global level as well.
Okay. And we're going to great segue. So great segue. Tell us some more about some of the new stuff that you were working. Let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
how we do that.
'Cause
Ed, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you tonight.
So we have the customers and the employees, and everybody works there, and corporations need to take that responsibility. Another key tool that we have now that's very contemporary, Jim, is in the whole employee side again. And I'll be really quick on this. One of the partners in the business, his name is Michael Kosek. He's an recognized expert in that area. He's a best-selling author on it as well. And he developed tools on mental wellness because there's a huge gap between people's desire to be engaged with the organization and their actual ability. And it's now on the top of the list of corporations to help people. So you don't have a caustic environment, you don't have a difficult environment, the people actually have the ability to be engaged. So now we've got a gap over here, so how do we work with employees? And we also brought in vendor relationships and channel partners and everything else that goes with it. So all of these different components now give us a much clearer picture. But traditionally, organizations tend to look at them in silos. Mm-hmm. And we look at them as they're all interrelated. And how do we actually make people understand and find those common denominators, find what's different, celebrate it, and understand it, and then find the common way of going about things, and within an organizational structure. And all of those pieces together is the business's reputation, shall we say, and how people see them.
In layman's terms, how do you go about doing it? I mean, how do you do this?
Okay, well, we've got some very sophisticated online tools. I don't completely understand how they work, but I know our people do.
That's a great thing about having great people, right?
It is a great thing about having great people. What happens is that we gather information, sometimes through surveys. Other times we import data that comes into it, and it all goes into our automated system, which gives our clients and our other partners access to the information, and it organizes it very simply for them, so they can go in and look at different segments, they can understand where the gaps are, where the differences are, and set some action plans in motion on those particular ones.
For about 5 years, we've been talking about ways to automate this, right?
Absolutely.
Where are we?
Well, we've just developed a platform for
See,
it.
great thing about live interview, he had no idea I was going to ask that question, right?
Well, I mean, that's a great...
Where are we?
Well, our technology has been used for so many different things. I mean, the Heart and Stroke Foundation uses it for all their e-tools. We've just created an amazing site in conjunction with a little tiny group out of Toronto called the Mood Disorders Association. And it's all about people with depression, anxiety, bipolar, et cetera. And it's become a bit of a mission for us. A lot of my people have given a huge amount of their time because they had a much bigger vision and a budget, as you're aware. And it's all about, and it's mymentalhealthmap.com, and it's a great spot. And
mymentalhealthmap.com.
Map is an MAP, that's correct. And what we've done is we've developed a fully integrated platform to teach people and give them the opportunity of putting information in, keeping a record of their ongoing progress, and sharing that with others, whether it be publicly or in a smaller environment, and to actually track the causal effect of different activities that they can take. And to help themselves along that journey. And we see that as a perfect platform for What's My Purpose because of the inspiration that comes with it, but also the ability to track the results over time and to give you and your folks the opportunity of saying, here's some trends that we're seeing with large numbers of people to help focus some of the thinking in some of the other areas. So that'll be coming soon.
I love that because with our huge, bold vision of one world living on purpose, we're going to have leverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So through this technology, we believe that we'll be able to have the leverage, but at the same time, as Ed and Richard was talking, it's taking this journey is not a light at heart. It's a commitment. It's got you're having to look at your stuff, right?
Absolutely. It is fascinating how difficult the journey can be, and how difficult it is not only for individuals but for organizations to look at things and say, I've got to do something a little bit differently than I was doing before. Yeah. And if I can have more information, I can do that.
Yeah.
And one of the other key components to this, Jim, that's going to help us take it to the broader audience is in online collaboration. I mean, Facebook has proved it, LinkedIn has proved it. Most of those particular components are, and I wouldn't say self-serving, but they are systems that they can communicate with. We've developed some tools and techniques to create greater collaboration and focus on particular problems. Because what we've learned is that businesses, organizations, households, they're really not that different even than a city. And one of the big breakdowns is that we live in a community, we live in a city, and there's so many disconnects within the city environment and within the business environment, and pulling that together to help everyone understand that our real purpose is to create a better world. It's to create a better place for us to live in. And most people really prefer collaboration and getting along than conflict and not. And the fact is, as you're growing things, there's more abundance for everybody, or at least the people that want to work for it.
We got to get another break in. We come back. I want to talk about cities, and you did a project recently. I think with city and elections. I mean, we got an election in the U.S. that's off and running.
Oh yes,
Right,
I've been following it.
Okay. You're watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19. We'll be right back after this message.
Are you looking for a clarity of purpose? Are you a recent college graduate, unemployed, an entrepreneur, or considering a career change? A business owner or employee struggling with performance issues? Classes are forming now for the worldwide phenomenon, What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 can help you define your goals and vision. Start living your life on purpose. Living on purpose is about joy. Living on purpose is about intention. Living on purpose is about personal transformation and continued growth. What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0 is a 12-week challenging course that helps you address finances, relationships, spiritual growth, physical and mental health. You will reclaim your personal power and get your life on track to attain true success. Classes are forming now for What's My Purpose Life Mastery Course 2.0. Learn more and register at whatsmypurpose.com. That's whatsmypurpose.com.
Okay, we're back with Wayne Clancy, and we've got a lot of stuff going on in the show today, and we thank you for being with us. And we're also streaming, as we do every week, at jlwcos.tv, and we're also on the radio today. And there's a lot of different ways that we are using technology to get the message out. Prior to the break, I asked you to tell us about this initiative that you use through the technology in elections, and how that kind of shapes some different initiatives. Mm-hmm. So what is that?
Well, one of the things that occurred to us, is that, especially all governments, but municipal governments, there tends to be a lot of fighting and disagreeing over things, and they tend to be centered around you're right and I'm wrong, and it's not about collaboration. And the amount of money that is spent in that area is mind-numbing. It really is. That could be put to much better purposes if people actually looked for what is really important to the group. And I was kind of frustrated with that, and I started this little thing called the People's Mind. And then I met with Ian Percy and Chris Ward, and helped to focus this on what's city possibilities, what's possible within a city by creating a mass collaboration in that area.
What did we do? Tell our audience exactly what that tool was. How did you reach out? What did you use?
Well, it's not live yet.
Okay.
We created a what we call a city hierarchy of needs, which is very similar to Maslow's, but it's what a city needs. And there's certain foundational things that are required, things such as safety, education,
Okay.
et cetera. And it goes up the channel up to things such as possibilities, prosperity, beauty within a city environment. And it occurred to us that having people in a city environment collaborate together to create a better environment works. Because what do? We elect a mayor, we elect a city council, they fight for 4 years, they can't really get much done, and then we go back into election mode, and most of the citizens will sit back and look and say, you guys fixed the problem. And in fact, they can't do it alone anyway, so it's not their fault. But if everybody was working together, 100,000 citizens giving 5 minutes is the equivalent of 35 years of somebody working full-time on something. So being able to tap into the citizens, understand their purpose, understand and help them understand how they can contribute and creating an environment for them to work together, that's what City Possibilities is all about. And Jim, it's not live yet, but we have a teaser, and I'd love to share more of it, and we're very close.
Do you have a website teaser?
Yes, if it's citypossibilities.com.
Okay, so there is a little teaser there.
There is.
How about your main business website for that?
Yes, it's the mindsuite.com.
Mindsuite.com.
And it's evolving too. We're going to be giving away
I
a
saw
lot of
that.
we're going to be giving away a lot of free tools because we think all businesses should have the ability to do that. So we're very close to having that launched as well. So there's 2 little things that are almost there.
How, in all of your research, all your surveys, when you look at the data, does it reinforce the need?
Oh, absolutely.
Is that one of our biggest gaps? No purpose?
When there's a lack of understanding and when people don't feel that they're heard or that they're understood, that is the biggest area of frustration that we get back from employees, from customers, everywhere. And to be understood means for other people to understand your purpose and what you're trying to accomplish. And it really does fit in together because that's the one thing that I hear over and over and over again. And people get frustrated with that. They get into an environment where they don't have a sense of purpose. And it's inherent in them. Because as human beings, I think most of us need to know that. Where are we going? What's our purpose? How can we contribute? Those are all the questions that people ask. And unfortunately, a lot of people start to lose that drive over a period of time, and revitalizing that in people and creating a little excitement around it. We create some small little initiatives, and it's amazing how excited people get because they're seeing an end result and they're actually collaborating, working with people, rather than some of the conflict that we've all been grown up on.
Also, we got, just believe it or not, just a couple of minutes left in these segments. You, for years, did work for Heart Association, right?
Heart and Stroke Foundation.
Heart and
yes.
Stroke Foundation. 1 minute or less. And what we do, we're just giving a lot of information. The mission of the show is to inspire and educate.
Yeah.
So, and I think sharing a little bit about that particular initiative would kind of pull all together for our audience to really understand that at the end of the day, you're using technology to help life be better.
Yes. So absolutely.
That's it.
We've been working with the Heart and Stroke Foundation for a long time now. I think close to 10 years.
Yeah.
And we've worked very closely with them on developing their e-tools.
Right.
And their e-tools actually help people understand their risk physically for heart attack, help them understand how to manage weight. And a big part of that is helping them understand how that will contribute to a better life for them. We're working with some amazing visionaries there, Ahmad, Sherry, Adele, Lee, just amazing people, really are. Very diversified, and it's hugely successful. We just hit 1.6 million visitors.
Really?
So it's pretty significant for it's for that type of a site. It's very significant.
Yeah. Well, the site once again is to health, stress, manage stress, right?
Yes.
Help to cut down on strokes. Better quality of life.
Yes.
And all that requires loving self. That's kind of important as well, right?
It is, absolutely.
understanding self, make sure that we are on this journey of doing the things that bring us bliss and and love. So we keep coming back, or we kind of circle the wagons here a little bit. We keep coming back to living that life on purpose. And yeah, go ahead.
If you're healthier, you can do that.
If you're healthier, you could do that. And and I couldn't agree with that more. And at the same time, what I say in our course, week in and week out, I want you to be able to have the financial abundance that you need to give you the freedom that you need in order to be able to make the choices that you need.
That's right.
Now that is a big deal. And I am very passionate about that. And I'm very passionate because when we look around and we look at all the poverty, and we look at we look at all of the unemployment, we look at decisions being made. I mean, we have a mess. And I can't believe I used that word, but yeah, we have somewhat of a mess. And some of the things that we're doing, you flew from Toronto to be on this show today to show your commitment to get your message out, and we want to thank you for that. And the intent from today's show is to let people understand that there are some options, but they got to get on board in order to make a commitment to these options. Right? Your website again?
It's themindsweet.com is the core one. There is citypossibilities.com, which has the teaser. And reputation means revenue is one of our other businesses, and that's the one Ed is actually running for us. And it's all about reputation. It's got some pretty neat tools in it as well.
Stay on set. We got to get another break in, and you will be right back with a special guest as well. Join us on the phone. You're watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19. We'll be right back after this message.
This segment is brought to you by Circle of Success, a dynamic, year-long intensive management and leadership development process designed to help individuals and organizations reach their goals quickly. A customized process addressing specific needs and identifying the critical opportunities particular to the individual and organization, with results measured in increased revenue, increased net profits, and increased equity. The Circle of Success, inspiring excellence in people, at jlwhiteinternational.com/circles.
Thank you. We're back, and really want to thank Wayne Clancy with all that wonderful knowledge and sharing the initiatives that he's doing. And Wayne's still on the set, so we'll get back to Wayne just before we go off air. But as I said in the show announcement at the beginning of the show, that we got some huge announcements that we're making today. And we have a person on the line that's been a very instrumental part of this upcoming announcement. About 6 years ago, Debbie, are you on the line? Debbie? Debbie?
Hello?
Yes, Debbie, you on the line? Can you hear me? Debbie?
Yes, Debbie on the line. I'm here. Can you hear me, Tim?
Yes, I can. Do you have audio, please?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Tim? Yes, I can.
Okay, we are having some audio. Debbie, can you call 831-375-1919, please? We got some feedback, and we need to get a clear audio. 831-375-1919, please. Okay, while we're getting reconnected there, we got a lot going on here for technology today. Okay. Okay, so we're waiting for Debbie Vermont to call in that line. Okay. Debbie, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, don't know what we have, but anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking the time to call in today.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here. You know I'd do anything for you, Jim.
I tell you, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. what I was about to share was, and I was sharing, was some 5 years ago or 6 years ago, we had an opportunity to meet, and we did an interview, and then I started putting this manuscript together on this book, and you've been after me for 5 or 6 years. So when are you going to release the book? Is that somewhat accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I pretty much every time we talk, I put a little plant and, bee in your bonnet and say, when is that book going to come out? It's a true statement.
Yeah. Well, as I said in our email exchange, you've inspired me, and it's going to be a while, but that's what we wanted to share today. We're going to move ahead with that, and the significance of that is we're going to tie it into this One World on Purpose initiative that you also know that we've been talking about for years, and we are going to need everybody to support us in this initiative, and some of the things that we're going to be looking to do is to go around the world and kind of back alleys, if you will, get people that have compelling stories and tie my story together, tie your story together, Wayne's story together, and just absolutely compile this wonderful, wonderful film, which I hope will become just this huge piece for history to be able to, people to go to. This is what we need to do for define and live on purpose, and hear some stories, and you get knocked down, you can get back up, and this is how, here's some tools to do that. Does it all make sense?
Well, it all makes sense, and it's exactly why I wanted you to write your story to begin with, because I don't think there's any better story on the planet than your story about getting knocked down and coming back right up again, and which is the exact reason why I've been after you, because you have such a great story of courage over and over and over again. So I'm really excited that you're sharing it with the world.
Yeah, and thanks for your little kick in the backside.
More than once.
More than once. I appreciate that. So I just wanted you to be part of this announcement today. That's all.
Well, thank you. I'm very honored.
You've just been a huge part of it. So I just wanted to be able to share, and that's where we're going. And I want to thank you for your friendship and for your encouragement on this project.
Well, thank you. And any part of that project that I can support, I'm very excited to do so.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else you'd like to share? How's your programs going? Yeah, I know you've got 10 Mindset. I had a guest on the show recently that actually watched our interview over and over and over and just loved 10 Mindset. So you got a progress report on 10 Mindset? Anything that you can go and give us a website for that?
You can certainly go to 10mindset.com. But since we talked, it's really exploded, and it's gotten deeper and broader, and we're kicking butt. Got a bunch of people going through the program right now as we speak, and just after 3 classes are literally, it's changing their life. Within hours. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing. So very excited about it. Really excited about it.
Well, I'm excited for you. And what I want our audience to really understand, collective we, you, Wayne, Ed, Richard, the world, it takes us all if we're going to influence 7 billion people, right?
Yeah, nothing like small goals, Jim. That's what I love about you.
Well, yeah.
That's why your story is so important, because you have such big visions and you make them happen.
Yeah. It's so that's it. And keep up the good work. And I really appreciate you. And thank you so much. And we'll talk to you later.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
My pleasure. Mm-hmm. Debbie Burmont, everyone. What I want to do now is to play this clip, Manifest Anything. And I want you to really take a moment get in the moment and connect with the possibilities and understand what our message has been today, that it is about defining and then implementing and living a life on purpose. And there's many tools to help you do that. There's many wonderful experts in the field and the communication tools to help you on that journey. So I want to wrap the show up by looking at this, watching this wonderful clip again. So let's take a look at it and we'll be right back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to play some of that clip for you. Why? Because I wanted to connect to the heart and to the head and to let you know that everything is possible. There's tools, there's support, there's all sorts of great stuff that's available to you. I want to thank Wayne Clancy, if we can get Wayne back on camera. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Wayne, for sharing all this great. And we need to have you back on the show to drill down on this a little bit more from the technical side at some point in time. And we can do that remotely. You don't have to, so we'll talk about that. So I definitely want to have you back here as soon as you get that ready to launch, okay?
Okay, absolutely. Good. I would welcome the opportunity, Jim.
Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching KYMB TV, Comcast Channel 19. I'll see you next Monday.
This has been Jim White's Circle of Success Show. Please visit our website, jlwcos.tv. Join us next time as Jim White brings it all together on Jim White's Circle of Success.